are going to put chickens in the freezer today. I'm gonna flip you around, show you my setup really quick, try to throw in some different footages of how we butcher chickens, and maybe this is helpful. I'm gonna show you how we do that. I got lots of little people running around, and so let's flip you around and show you the setup. So let me back you up. We'll pan across, and these are the keys to our 6 chickens. You need to have chickens and get them close to where you're working. As we're panning across, I got a couple of my guys at the kill station. The kill station is right there. You'll see that right there is scalding pot is also close. Then we'll move to the plucker. You'll notice we have a water hose readily available with lots of extra length. It is hanging on like a shepherd's hook type planter. That way you don't have to bend over and pick it up. We just got a random box out here for holding stuff, coffee mug, that sort of thing. Table that I built out of pallets, but it has 2 cutting stations on each side. Then we move over closer here. We have just a 20-gallon tote that has cold well water in it. We will put the chickens into that well water for a while, and then after they cool down, we will transfer them into the big cooler, which is packed of ice and apple cider vinegar, where they'll stay until we bag them up. So, gonna try to do narration of what exactly we have going on here. I'm blessed to have my children still around, where they are very willing to participate. And so you'll see my oldest there and my youngest catching chickens and bringing them out to the cones, the kill cones, if you will. My oldest is 15, and he really doesn't mind doing that knife work. I will not show that. You can see that on many of the video, but that was a huge blessing that they just kept me in supply of chickens at those cones. And so that was really a pretty neat thing. And they had fun with it. They really did. You can see that the kids are standing there. And then one of my daughters was doing the camera, so zooming in a little bit. And you can see me there with a knife. And what I would do is I would remove one of the legs prior to dunking and scalding. Figured out that the tumbler and the plucker doesn't work as well with the legs attached, and so removing one of those legs after the bird has left is good. Here I'm doing my scalding, and we found that 150 degrees is really the best temperature, and then you just kind of dunk it back and forth. And you dunk it, and you pull off some feathers, and the leg feathers and the chest feathers come off pretty easily. Those wing tip, those are a little heavier. They require a little bit more. So by the end of the morning, I had a nice little pile there, and you can see me adjusting. And you're constantly adjusting that fire because, believe it or not, those chickens, they will cool down that water. You have to add water. I think you guys know the deal. And so once the feathers start coming off pretty easily, we move over to the plucker. Now, this plucker was quite a blessing. I found this on Marketplace, and you can see I'm removing that last leg, and that really is nice.
Are you ready?
Kids really enjoyed helping out, and that plucker did the job, did it well, and this was a great investment, keeping that water on there. All the feathers flushed out the front, and it was about 20 seconds a bird. A couple of them you had to tumble them a little bit more. My understanding is that birds, if you could put 2 in there at a time, it does the best job. But you could just see how clean that came out. Really a clean product. And so that was a real neat thing. Now this is our friend David, and David really. He grew up, his mom owned a restaurant, and so he really understands how to piece apart a chicken pretty easily. He did a good job, real patient with the kids, and that is my number 4 kid. she really enjoys working with the chickens. Um, she enjoys the butchering process, and I was just really amazed at how well she did. Some of them are a little more squeamish. She's not. They're just taking off little wingtips there. Sometimes we'll use shears, sometimes we'll use a knife. In all honesty, all they do is kind of get in the way, and they burn as you're cooking it. And so we just remove those, and then those will go into a stock pot. Uh, David will take those wingtips, and he will also take the feet, and he turns those into soup stock. And there is Caroline. And you just see she really enjoyed pulling those intestines out. And yeah, that's a little gross.
Kidney, heart, liver.
She's learning a little bit of anatomy there, a little biology, naming off those different pieces.
Exactly, it's healthy for you. There you go.
Why are you touching it with your bare hand?
She likes that. She didn't like the glove. She wants.
It feels the same back up. Sorry, I'm getting the heart.
I know.
Whoa. Oh.
The heart was easy.
There you go.
That was the heart?
Yeah,
why is
why
the kidney so big?
Well, you haven't seen a cow kidney. When you get the kidney.
There she is. She's kind of yanking everything out, and probably doesn't need to be that bad. You could usually what we'll do is we'll come along and we'll actually we'll cut that tail off. Usually I will come along and knife right around that whole butt and everything. My wife has really been getting pretty good. David's done a really good job at teaching her, and she has really done a great job. The first butchering day, we started out with 35. We did 19 the first day, and then the second day, this butchering day, and that's 16. There's my 4-year-old, and he has no problems getting in there, and he has been with the whole process of raising those birds. Those chickens know something's up, but those are our 5-gallon bucket kill cones, and those YouTube is flooded with those. There's lots of videos on how to build those, and I try to catch as much of that blood as possible. No, I will not show the actual kill, but now this is, some people use a bungee strap. Kids usually will just hold on to the feet. They will kick around so much that they'll actually flop out. Once again, they love to spray water and they love to participate, and so I'm going to let them, be very patient with them. We're just kind of bopping around. It becomes a pretty quick system, and we were able to process all 16 of these in less than 2 hours, have them bagged up and ready for the freezer. And so, not sure what the neighbors thought, but it really was a pretty quick process. If you have not used one of these Johnson Scovich tractors, they are built for a 10-year-old. They are very easy to get in and out of. Myself being about 6'3", I could still move myself around in there. And so here the oldest is trying to do a little training with my 10-year-old and help him understand the whole entire process. And so that's pretty much it. We really enjoyed this day.
So today's butchering was 16 chickens, and you can see they're in the ice, water, ice, apple cider vinegar, and those 16 took us about 2 hours to piece apart or to butcher. And now we are piecing apart a few of them. So you'd see these crew is quartering. Do we call this quartering? What do we call this? Making them into pieces. And so a few of these birds will end up getting pieced out and vacuum sealed and froze. That way they're a little more convenient. These backs will be put into a broth, and then so 4 of those chickens will end up getting pieced, vacuum sealed. I will try to throw a little bit of that footage in sometime in here, and those, we haven't done that in the past, but when we used to take them to get butchered, they would piece them out for, you know, price per pound or whatnot, or per chicken. And then another 4 of them we're going to put in the fridge, and we're going to cook tomorrow. We're going to have our hand at canning chicken, and so new adventure for us, but it's also a way to save freezer space and just be a little more off-gridish, right? So we're going to come back in a minute, and we are heating up water right now. We kind of washed everything down. We're heating up water, and then we're going to put these chickens into bags. So there it is. There is one chicken all pieced out, and pretty much just using a set of shears and a knife, and then we'll be able to bag those up with like pieces, and that is convenience food on the farm, isn't it? So these are 8 chickens. We are going to put these into shrink wrap bags, and so we're going to put these in bags. You'll see the process, but these are the 8 chickens going to the freezer today. With these bags, we put the chickens in there, and then we will kind of bring them as tight as we can, and then we could add this zip tie to it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the zip tie kind of seals it off. And then per the directions, you're supposed to put one small, about 1/4 inch slit in the breast, and that's where the your label will go on top of that. All right, so with this process, we've got the bag, chicken in the bag, and now we want to put it underneath the water, 190-degree water, for 3 to 5 seconds, but it's got to fully get submerged. And then when we pull it out, it kind of shrinks right up there, and then we will put, after this is dry, we'll put that label on that chicken. So that's it. They're shrink wrapped. You can see these labels go over that little slit hole that we put in, and then we will weigh them and place those in the freezer. And that is they're ready for the freezer. So once again, these are the 7 chickens that are going to go to our freezer. We're sending a chicken home with a gentleman that helped us this morning. And so these are kind of the weights that we are working on now. These are about 10 weeks old, and so 7, 7, 8, 2. You can see these. Got a little guy at 514, and those numbers seem pretty big, but we have my wife and myself and 5 children, and so we like to be able to get a couple meals out of each bird, and this is what we like to have them. So that's the finished product. Time to go to the freezer. So hey guys, thanks for joining me. I'm not really sure how this video is going to work its way out. I'm certain that you'll probably hear some in-person talk, some voiceover, just how we do. Mostly this video is just how we go about harvesting our meat chickens. Each person's going to do it differently. Each person's going to do it differently to meet their needs. Do not feel like I have to do it this way because Joel Salatin's video said to do it this way, or I have to do it because Justin Rhodes said I had to. take all the things that you learn and make a system that works for you. And so this is just how we do this. I will probably try to do a little bit of video clipping of us canning up some of this chicken. Right now the missus is taking those pieces and she's vacuum sealing those, and then those will go into the freezer. And so we've been at this for, like I said, 9 years that we've been doing meat chickens. 7 with this Johnson Scovich tractor. And so, you know, the learning curve is pretty steep when it comes to processing your own chickens, how you prepare them, how you grow them. Some people like to be done in 6-7 weeks, and they have these nice little chickens. And granted, my chickens might be a touch tougher, but they will last us a little more. And so, you know, each one of us does things a little bit differently. At the very beginning of the video, I kind of panned across and I showed how we laid things out. And honestly, I got most of that from Josh over at, I believe, Stony Creek Farm. And you know, the biggest tip is to have something to hold that water hose in the air, because that bending over, it'll destroy my back in a matter of just a couple minutes. Jobs that I do, I try to keep upright. That's why I had the little guys going in and getting the chickens. The oldest boy doesn't mind doing that initial cut. You know, a good friend of ours, he's really good at doing that processing of the chicken. I've been teaching my wife quite a bit about that. And I just maintain the water and do the plucking. And so everybody has a job. Really goes pretty smoothly. So use your own system. Take bits and pieces, do a mashup. And so thanks for joining me. This is definitely part of our life, and we've had these birds with us for right around 10 weeks now. And so it's nice to see that that tractor is empty. I'm doing some wash up still. I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight. Doing some wash up and we got a nice day, a little bit of breeze, so things can kind of air out after they get washed. And it'll be nice to have that meat in the freezer. Probably won't want to enjoy any of it for a few weeks, but that's okay. So I'm long-winded. That's what you get when you come here. And so you guys take care, and thanks for joining me. Bye now.